Hello everyone, this is the second video of my devlog about my 3D puzzle platformer game. I did not have enough time to work on the project, but I've decided to make a video for the little that I've got, so let's start. The first thing is, originally for gamepads I only supported X-input gamepads, which are those gamepads that implement Xbox controllers interface, and not all of them do it. For example, PlayStation 4 controller that doesn't do it for some reason. It is probably, well, the guys at Sony know it. And that little interface, which is part of WinAPI, enables me to support PlayStation 4 controllers and actually most of the older controllers that are in the world. The new controllers all support X-input, but some of them don't. And the next thing, in the previous video I said that I don't like how my game feels, and I've decided that it might be because the controls were really responsive and it was really easy to control the player. For example, one of the things that was possible is to jump in one direction and then come back exactly at the same direction, which basically makes you enables you to control the player while it's jumping as if it was a drone, which is kind of defeats the purpose of having a game, because you basically enable the player to go anywhere he wants, and by making the jump a lot stiffer and disabling that huge change in velocity while jumping makes the game harder and gives you some reason to play. And the other thing that I removed, as you know, in most platformer games people advertise that when you jump, the amount of time that the player reaches its highest point should be higher than the time that it reaches the lowest point. So the player should come down back at the ground quicker, and I initially implemented that and I didn't like it. It made the game feel really easy, and after I removed it, now the gravity works just normally. Previously I achieved that by, when the player starts falling, I increase the gravity so the player would come to the ground faster. Now the gravity is constant and I don't bother with it. And yeah, that's about the game feel, and now I'm a lot happier with what the game is. It gives you a reason to play. When you see some place somewhere, you know you probably can't reach it that easily, that you have to work somehow, you feel constrained in some way. And yeah, the next thing is those rockets here. Let me just make my player immune, because I probably die because of them. So as you can see, these rockets are spawned from these two turrets. These turrets can shoot three different types of rockets. One is that flies in straight line. The other one is the one that slowly chases you, and the other one is another that again chases you, but it dashes in direction where the player is. So it really makes you nervous and adds a lot of tension when you try to run out of them. I really like these. They are my favorite obstacles in the game so far. Just make everything. They make everything so dynamic and cool. And yeah, the other thing that I did were these pendulums here. As you can see, there is an X or something which goes left and right, and this is an obstacle which could kill the player. They are controlled by this object, which is mathematical pendulum. The formula is pretty easy, and you can control a lot of parameters here. For example, how big the angle of the pendulum is. You can see I can let's just make it something small, like 30 degrees, and the period make it something like half a second, and you can see it starts going really fast. And I can increase the angle like 90 degrees and maybe increase the period to 5 seconds, which makes it a bit more realistic. And yeah, that's about that game object. Let's just stop that dashing missile because it is... Oh, am I recording again? Okay, I'm still recording. Okay, these dashing missiles kind of intercept my thought. And the next thing that I rewrote was these platforms, and they're implemented by, well, these platforms are just some static obstacle, just for the physics. They are just a simple box, and the way they are implemented is this this control object here kind of tells that object that it should follow that path, and there are some parameters that specify how the path should be followed. For example, when the end of the path is reached, what should happen? Should the platform that follows it, should it stop? Should it teleport back to the beginning, or should it do something else? And by default I do bounce, which it should mean like it goes left and right until the end of time. And another thing that I made about this, as you can see, it moves the objects that are on top of the platform, and actually it supports stacked objects. For example, if I do the following thing, I get that box, I duplicate it over the platform, give me 1 second to do it, and I stack another box on top of it, and I maybe stack another box on top of it, and now if everything works correctly, this platform should move all of the three boxes together. Well, it moved 2 of them because one of these was held by the gizmo, and this was kind of a hassle to implement, but it works. And in addition, it actually works if the game is paused. As you can see, the game isn't running, everything is frozen. I can still modify where this platform is along the path, and it will still maintain the object that were on top of it. And let's see what else. Yeah, I made another modification to existing objects. So this thing here is just an object that I can push around, but it is constrained to be movable only in X coordinates, so its Z coordinate is frozen. And as you can see, I can push it from that side, but I cannot push it from that side. And another thing that I made it is, for example, the player, imagine that the player could take a hold of it and move it when it moves, for example, like that. And this could be like useful for a lot of reasons. I mean, like platforming and being able to create a path and so on. And yeah, that's all. I hope that it is short. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, thanks for watching.